You're listening to Scribble Talk, a podcast for bid and proposal professionals. My name is Bhaskar Sundram, and with my co-host,
Ashley Case,
we will be sitting down with our industry veterans to share their stories, discuss their career, and learn how to make an impact in the industry. Today's guest is Sanjay Singh. Sanjay has over 23 years of experience in building and leading teams to support sales and consulting functions at global MNCs such as Oracle, McKinsey, and IDC. He's skilled at business research, sales enablement, and knowledge management. Sanjay currently leads the bids and proposal management team at Genpact. Genpact is a global professional services firm that makes business transformation real for Fortune 500 companies. Over the last couple of years, Sanjay has redesigned and built a bid management center of excellence at Genpact. This transformation led to significant improvement on all bid management performance metrics and won Genpact the APMP Best Bid and Proposal Team Award in 2019. Sanjay's earlier set up a sales intelligence center of excellence at Genpact, doing industry and company research, content creation, lead generation through CXO-connection and competition intelligence. Wow. Sanjay is on the Association of Proposal Management, APMP India governing board since January 2020. He is co-leading the Marketing and Comms Committee and helping drive APMP India's growth strategy. Sanjay loves listening to podcasts, regularly plays badminton and cricket. He has a bit of a green thumb and doing a community farming for organic vegetables. Ooh. He's based in Gurgaon since 1998 and has seen it evolve from a sleepy little town into bustling millennium city. Sanjay, there is so much to talk. Welcome to Scribble Talk. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you, Ashley. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me here.
100%, Sanjay. Let's go back to the very beginning, Sanjay. Where were you born? And let's talk about your high school and education.
Sure. I was born in a small town in the state of Uttar Pradesh in India. It's known as UP. The town was it's called Azamgarh. That was my maternal grandmother's place, right? But I was there very briefly, and then subsequently I moved to Varanasi, also known as Banaras. It's a popular city in northern part of India. That's where the current Prime Minister of India contests the elections from. That's his constituency, and he's been winning from there. So it's actually it's known as one of the oldest living cities in the world. I think it's the oldest living city in the world, Varanasi. So I did my schooling there for till 12th standard. I was in different schools, but interesting story there as well. So initially I was in a Hindi medium school, a local school close to my place, and then after completing my 5th standard, I had an opportunity to go abroad to Kenya, Nairobi. Right, my father he was a physics professor in a college, so he applied for a 2-year stint in Nairobi University, and we moved there for a couple of years. And that was actually a turning point as well, because when I came back, I got the opportunity to move to a better school, actually the best school in Varanasi, which was an English medium convent school, right? So that was a key turning point in my life.
Wow. So from where you were born to Banaras, and from Banaras to Kenya, and from Kenya back, there's a lot of journey there. How was the migration when you were young from India to Africa?
Yeah, actually, it was good fun. So one thing I learned is that moving out of the comfort zone is such a great learning experience, right? So when I moved from my hometown here, from the Hindi medium school, my native language, to Kenya, where everything was in English, the first month was a torture. You know, I would go to school and I could not communicate in English. I was ridiculed, and the student and staff all would kind of give me that look and avoid me, and I had to bank on another Indian student there to do some amount of translation for me to get through that first maybe a month. And I came back. I used to come back to my father and come back to the home and ask my father, hey, why did we move here? Did you bring us all here for us to get embarrassed in front of everybody?
Yes.
And he said, don't worry, we'll get over it and you will come all right out of this. So he got me admitted into an English tuition class. And by then the first session was ending. It was a trimester session there, right? So after the first 3 months got completed, we went on a 1 month of leave. After that, I remember going back to school, and I was pretty good in English by then. And everybody was surprised, like, wow, man, no, you never told us that you knew English. I said, I did not know English. I just learned it over the last couple of months. It was a good story that way.
Yeah, I think it's super important, isn't it? We all, because my native language is Tamil, right? But it's quite interesting. I studied, my father put me in a convent, but then it was still hard to study everything in English when you speak everything at Tamil at home. Applying learning language which is outside your thinking pattern and coming back and communicating is a beautiful story there. Thank you. And you finished your school in Benares. Then is that where you did your bachelor's as well?
Yeah. So after completing, so I stayed in Kenya for 2 years, and by the end of that, I was pretty good in studies there. Well, the education system was also relatively easy compared to India. So I scored 7th position in the entire country in the board exam, the 7th standard board exam over there, which was such a high. And then when I came back, I got admitted to the school here in Varanasi again, St. John's School. And I thought, okay, I'm 7th rank student of Kenya. This is going to be cakewalk here as well. And lo and behold, I was struggling in almost all the subjects, especially, history, civics, geography, Hindi. I had forgotten my Hindi by then. And the history, civics, geography is all, kind of forgotten or, very, very new for me when I'd come back. So I had to really, I struggled to catch up and cope up, and all my, perception of being superior was all gone in the first, 6 odd months. And I had to come up back to the curve. But then that was a good learning again. And my father invested a lot of time with me in covering all those subjects. So I completed my 12th standard, and that was by then. I was able to come back. I used to consistently be in the top 10, 7th or 8th rank typically. Somehow 7 number is a good number for me that way.
Yes.
So after, yeah.
I think 7 is a great number. I was born in 7th of October, Sanjay, so 100% agree.
Greatness is associated with 7 number, I believe.
Yes. After school, how was the journey?
Yeah. So after school, I got admission in BHU, Banaras Hindu University. Ooh. It's a very large central university that's in Varanasi and pretty old as well. Before Indian independence. It's a 18 square kilometer campus. It's a huge university. So I went on to do my computer science undergraduation from there. Actually, there's a little bit of a story there as well. My father wanted me to be a student in his college, right? He was in a different college on the other side of the city. And he wanted me to study physics and maths from his college. And I said, no, I have to study computers. And I actually, argued with him and fought with him to get the computer science admission into that course. But it's good because then that was something which I was really passionate about, and I was following my heart there. I said, I don't want to be studying just physics and maths. It may be good, but then computers were just coming in at that point in time, late 80s. And in India, they were making a mark, which later, with the turn of the century, I'm forgetting the name of the term, but that's when it really blossomed for Indian economy, where the entire growth was led by computer adoption.
Totally. Like at that point, computer science was the thing. How was it learning computer science in Banaras in the university during the good old times?
Oh, it was good. We had a lot of fun, more fun than studies actually. uh, so we had a great gang, and well, the infrastructure was also new because it was just being introduced. So good teachers, good infrastructure. I studied computers for 4 years, and then I had a change of heart because it was becoming too technical there, then. And also I realized that after doing this, I would end up either being a system administrator or a programmer, and that's not what I wanted to do. I was more focused on, in a job where I could use my knowledge of computers, but still be in touch with the human side, with working with people. So that's when I switched to an MBA course from the same university. And again, my father was dead against it. He said, "No, you've studied computers now. There are great job opportunities. You should go on and take up a job and be a programmer." I said, "No, I want to do management. I want to do sales and marketing courses." So after a while, he gave up, and then I went on to do that. Again, good learning, a lot of ups and downs. The biggest downer was during MBA. There were a couple of large political issues in India. Bhaskar, if you would remember the reservation, the anti-reservation, movement, and there was this temple issue. Because of those, the session got delayed. There were a lot of student unrest all over the country. The job market suffered. So those were a few of the downers there, due to which there was a bit of a struggle in getting a job. But then eventually I got a sales job in Delhi. That's when I moved from Varanasi.
Perfect. Yes, at that point was challenging. I passed out in 2002. That's where the 9/11 happened and situation. We had a change of guard in politics as well at that point. So it was, and IT was booming, but it fall flat during the 2001 crisis. It was pretty challenging, but that's good. From the sales roles, you did manage to put yourself in IDC, McKinsey, and Oracle. Maybe you could quickly run through your career timeline before you enter Genpact.
Yeah. Well, the very first thing that I remember from my job, actually two things. One was when I went on to interview for a company that I took my first job with. I was asked a very cliched question, sell this pen to me. And I was like, man, that is such a cliched question. But nonetheless, I answered that, got a job, along with other questions as well. Did that job for 2 years, did a lot of, running around. It was a sales job wherein I had to sell concepts, right? So optical mark recognition, OMR, and OCR, optical character recognition, and barcoding. These were very new things in India, and I had to do concept selling for these three products and services in Delhi. So it was very, very difficult because you're trying to explain to people how these would be relevant for their use cases. People just did not get it. They thought it is irrelevant, not needed, too costly, and almost every day was a disappointment. I would come back, from calls, not having closed a deal. So major learning there, not to give up. But it was tough, those 2 years, right? And then towards the end of that 2 year stint, I actually got a job in another company for a while, wherein I was selling hardware products, networking products, LAN and WAN switches and routers and hubs and connected UPSs. One interesting incident I remember there was the first day on that job. I actually landed up at my competitor, and I tried to sell my my wares to competitor, and I could see the amused look on their faces, and I'm like, why are these guys amused? They were playing along. They got all the info from me, and then after about 20 odd minutes, they said, okay, we are a competitor, and you very graciously shared everything. Thank you very much.
Wow.
So What I learned is that you need to do research on not only your clients or your prospects, but you need to do research on your competitors as well. You have to be very thorough about that to succeed in sales role, especially, but all roles nonetheless.
100%, 100%. So how long were you there at IDC before you moved to McKinsey?
Well, I then moved to IDC. IDC is a market research company, International Data Corporation.
Right.
They publish market research reports on variety of IT and telecom and related services. I was there for about 3 years. I was leading their telecom and networking research in India. Interesting job. That's when I fell in love with research, right? So bulk of my career is actually in market research, business research, financial research. So that's what started at IDC. I did that for about 3 years. And then I got referred by an ex-friend, a colleague of mine from IDC. I got referred to McKinsey. McKinsey had set up a knowledge center in India in 99. And 2000 beginning was when I got referred by that friend of mine who'd actually gone to McKinsey as well. So he pulled me there, and I moved to McKinsey.
That's a transition from a market research company into McKinsey, who everybody knows McKinsey, right? How was the transition?
Oh, yes. I mean, McKinsey is the best. It's the tops. So just the McKinsey experience is something that you remember, even if you spend like, a year or two in McKinsey, you remember that for the rest of your life. It was a transformational experience. The strong values that they live by, the strong focus on employees who are actually considered equal to clients, right? So clients and employees both are given equal weightage and value. And superb focus on employee development, on learning and knowledge building, skill building. That was the massive focus that I saw. I mean, no other company that I've come across does it with as much, money and focus and passion as they do. And so in McKinsey, I was there for 6 years. I was leading their telecom research capability, which was being set up. And that was a research role. Again, I was supporting telecom engagement, telecom media, high-tech engagements globally with my research, right? So consultants on the client side would be in touch with me regularly to do research, primary research, secondary research, a lot of secondary research and a little bit of primary research as well, to feed that back into their deliverables that they were preparing, right? And after transitioning this from a research team in North America, I expanded that to cover the rest of the world. I had a largish team here, about 15 odd people spread all over the globe, with global teams, so people stationed in Australia, Japan, China, Korea, who reported to me. So that was again, like I said, a transformational 6-year stint with McKinsey in their knowledge center.
Wow. And from knowledge center, was Oracle a similar role as well, or is a very different role in Oracle?
Well, slightly different. The common thread was the research. So again, with the McKinsey Knowledge Center, I was not looking to move abroad, but there were multiple opportunities to move abroad from McKinsey. Almost everybody in my peer group had moved to US. But for my personal reasons, because my dad had just passed away and I could not leave my mom behind. So because of personal reasons, I could not leave the country. I had to be in India. And beyond a certain limit, I couldn't, there was not much of a role in the McKinsey Knowledge Center. So a colleague of mine referred me, again, a lot of, power of referrals and connections and network. I got referred to Oracle. Oracle was setting up a new team in India to support their global sales function. Right, so they needed a lot of research, company profiling, value briefs to be created, lead generation, outside in consulting engagements, remote consulting engagements. So they needed that capability. So I, along with a couple of other people, set it up in India and grew it. I spent about 9 years in Oracle in India supporting global sales. So it was again good fun, lot of building from scratch capabilities that did not exist, a lot of struggles because Oracle is organized as Oracle India and Oracle Global. And Oracle Global, which is Oracle, the entire software development arm, that's in Bangalore. But our team was in Delhi. Now in Delhi, we weren't officially legally part of Oracle India. So we had to have all of the setup, built up from grounds up. And that was exciting because it was a bit of a startup kind of feeling initially. So we didn't have proper, office. It was in a business center. Equipments were difficult to get. All of those startup issues that people face. We faced it while being part of a large corporate, large global MNC. So it was extremes. On one side we were part of Oracle, but on the other side we were actually not, because we were having to do things from scratch, building policies because they existed either for the Bangalore development center, which was like several thousand people, but the India operations was only sales operations, so we weren't part of it. So interesting learnings and journey over there.
Definitely, Sanjay. I think it just tells you how versatile you are, moving from different roles and taking up different types of opportunities, experiencing different cultures, different time zones. So do you have any, including Genpact, how was the transition? And then we will talk about any memorable or interesting projects that you have across IDC, Genpact, and also, McKinsey or Oracle.
Sure. After spending 9 years in Oracle, I again, through power of network and connections, I got referred to Genpact. Genpact was, again, setting up this capability, the research capability. It was fairly raw at that point in time in 2014. And they were looking for a research team leader. So I joined Genpact in January 15. I'm sorry. And initially when I saw that this is a bit of a, mix of McKinsey and an Oracle, and large company, it was about 65,000 people at that point in time when I joined Genpact, but it was still like a startup-ish culture because the pace of change was huge, and it was the decision-making, execution, governance was all within a small group of AVPs and above, which gave that flavor of a startup. And every day was different compared to Oracle, where things were fairly stable. Things were at even keel. There were a lot of policies and processes. In Genpact, things were very rapidly changing, state of flux. One interesting project from Oracle. So Oracle, we created a remote business case generator, which could run actually if you just press a few buttons on that platform, you would be able to create an end-to-end business case on that platform. It had one source running at the back end. It's like a Capital IQ kind of a platform running at the back end with a lot of collaterals by industry, by capabilities woven into it. So internal repository and an external database connected together, wherein you chose what company you're targeting, in what vertical, what challenges are they facing, and you would be able to then create an end-to-end deck which did your industry research, which had your company research, which had your company strategies and objectives, company challenges, company financials, peer comparison of the company with its competitors. And for that kind of a company, what Oracle has done, the benefit delivered, case studies, etc. So all of that could be done in click of few buttons, and that was a huge success. I believe it's still being used in an improved version as of now. So that was an interesting project that I did in Oracle. In Genpact, every day is interesting. I can spend the entire day talking about it.
It's super fascinating. Even visualizing what you just told me was in a click of buttons, we are able to bring in everything about competition, everything about customer in like that. I think companies spend, as you know, 3 months, 4 months standing in 3-4 guys to do capture assessment and stuff, whereas the market research and the overall competitive research has moved so advanced where anything that's publicly available, we could get things done in click of a button. It's fascinating to hear. And this was done a few years ago as well, as you said. Imagine now how the best-in-class companies manage, competitive information and also their own, the customer strategy and implementation. That's brilliant. And is that what you took forward? Because you did mention in Genpact, you created 2 centers of excellence. One is the competitive intelligence or related excellence, and the second one is the bid and proposal center of excellence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first one was a research center of excellence. It's called Growth Intelligence Unit. In that team, there is research that is done for industries, for accounts, for buying centers in those accounts, and for people in those buying centers. Right, at that level of granularity, research is done in those areas. So secondary research, a lot of capturing of triggers, right? So I developed a platform along with a vendor, a platform wherein real-time triggers would be captured for our target accounts. So I'll give an example. Suppose we are going after, say, ABC Corporation, right? ABC Corporation is an account. The seller is, say, John Doe, right? Now, we had that mobile app, which would be customized for everybody in the sales function. And John Doe had ABC company on his phone on that particular app, right? Now, any changes that happen in ABC company, whether it's merger or acquisition or CXO movement inside or outside, any financial information, financial changes or financial stresses, any business operating changes, or any big announcements pertaining to outsourcing. Multiple of those things were coded into the platform. It would catch all of that from public sources. It was continuously crawling about 40,000 odd sources all over the web, and would immediately flag it into the app to that seller. So seller would real time get to know, okay, this particular thing has happened in the account, right? And that would immediately alert the seller to have a conversation with the CXO in the client organization. So that was one. The second thing was tracking of connections, right? An app that was able to map connections from Genpact to the client C-suite and the board. And connections would be through our senior folks, through our board members. And so for the seller, it gave them a route to reach to their target CXO using that network, right? So use the network, use the trigger that you've just got, boom, you are in a position to have a conversation real time. Before even anybody gets to know about it, you're already talking about that thing. So
I know it's going to freak out everybody. Most people use Excel spreadsheet to just do Google search to just find what they can do here. But this is super nice, Sanjay. I mean, like with the wealth of information, is it also been lifted and dropped into how we write proposals and other things? You played a very important role in also structuring the bid proposal center of excellence as well. How was that influenced by this?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting story as well. So after having led that research center of excellence for close to 3 years, I was then looking to do something else. Roughly 3 to 4 years is when I start getting a little, jittery when I want to do something different, something more challenging. So I had done that for about 3 years, and I was looking to do something else. And at that point in time, the proposaling capability, which was actually outside of my current uh, business group, it was outside of that group. It was brought into this business group, and I was asked by my boss that, hey, we want to fix this function. We have had this function, but there are challenges in how Genpact runs its bids and proposals. uh, you know, can you take that as a challenge and fix it? I said, yes. Of course, I took a few hours to think about it, because that's something I had not thought. I mean, all my background was research, and here I was expected to move down the cycle, from lead generation and deal surfacing to now deal shaping and proposal creation and bid management, right? So, but it was exciting because I'm so glad that I took that decision to move. It just opened new avenues of learning and exposed me to actually the best of Genpact. And I think bid and proposal management is so central to everything that happens in the organization, right? You get exposed to sales and marketing, you get exposed to operations and delivery, to finance and commercial and legal and IT and HR and transitions, everything. Like, you are in the center of the entire corporate or entire operation of a business when you're in a bid and proposal management role. It's a great opportunity that came my way. I'm so thankful to God for that.
100%. And what's more, from that important implementation, the team went on to win 2019 bid and proposal global award from APMP as well. That tells us the effort that has gone in.
Yes.
100%. Yes, totally.
Absolutely. So when I took on this role, we engaged an APMP approved training organization, ATO, to look into what needed to be done, right? So we conducted a couple of assessments of proposal quality, and assessment of people competency, and creation of a new target operating model. We had to design and build it basically from scratch on the dimensions of people and skill building and DNA change, on the dimension of process again, because processes were very ad hoc. People were just were just order takers and coordinators, right? They weren't true bid managers in the way bid management is defined. So the processes had to change. Everything had to be standardized. All deals were basically being treated the same way, whether it's a very small deal or a very large deal. Every deal, people spend the same amount of time, same amount of, effort. The standardization was missing, and also differentiation, because, you have to treat a smaller deal in a more scalable manner using, standardized pieces which are reusable, and invest more of your time and actually best of your people on those larger strategic deals, because that's where the real meat is. So standardization, yet differentiated application on different types of deal, right? And focus on transformation services opportunities, which is a big focus area. So it's an exciting journey. Last 2.5 years, I have been in this role, leading the bid and proposal management function. That the time has just flown. When I now sit back and think about it, this was in 2018 when I took it up. Wow, man, time has really flown. But it's a fabulous, very satisfying journey.
Totally. I think we talked at length about your life, career, and the amazing stuff that you've done, both in research on Oracle, McKinsey, and also IDC, then on Genpact, doing both setting up the research arm and also on the bid and proposal center of excellence. Let's wind down a little bit. Tell us the 3 things not many people know about you.
Not many people know about me. So one is that now people know I was pretty bad in communicating in English. Because of that fear, I had a lisp. I used to stammer, and I really hated that change. But then I got over it, and when you fall down and you stand back again, and when you see that you're really able to dust off and move forward, it gives a lot of courage and confidence. So I was able to do that. So that's number one. The other thing also, a lot of people, actually most of the people don't know, is that I tried to sell my product to a competitor. It was such an embarrassing, boo-boo moment, and a funny moment when I now look back. But that's another one which I did. Well, I'm a trained scuba diver.
Ooh.
Yeah, so grade 2 scuba diver as well. So I've done that in 3 locations all over the world. So that's one.
Wow. I think that's very unique, scuba diving. I mean, like even in normal swimming pool, I struggle to breathe, let alone do scuba diving. It's amazing. I think just one question on APMP, and then we'll very quickly move on. Ashley is so looking forward to talk all about these stuff that you just told me. When did you join APMP as a member, and talk us about your APMP India board journey so far and your plans?
Absolutely. So APMP, when I joined this team as the team lead role in 2018, I had a team member who had an APMP foundation certification, and he had come from Microsoft. So he used to talk highly about APMP, and I used to see the difference between him when he managed the deals versus others. So he really used that knowledge, and he used to come across as very confident, very theoretically buttoned up, very correct, whereas everybody else was winging it, playing it by the ear. But he always followed some kind of a process. And then he talked about this 97 step process of business development and bid management. And I was very intrigued. I said, okay, what is this APMP and what do they do? So with my ATO partner, I explored that. I took up membership in the middle of 2000, actually towards the end of 2018. I took up membership of APMP, and I'm so glad, because it opened up so many new vistas for me. Right, I got access to their free resources and webinars and conferences. I got invited to I applied to go to the BPC 2019. My company approved me going there. That's when the nomination for the best team award was also opening up, and I submitted my nomination there and got selected. So when I landed up in BPC, in 2019 May, it was such a moment. I could network and meet many people. A lot of people that I'm still in touch with, and access to best practices that are going a long way in the way we are now running this operation in Genpact.
Perfect. So I think that's an amazing journey. I think what you just shared, and wish you all the good luck with all the APMP initiatives in the future. I was there at the CBPM on your behalf, Sanjay, if you remember. Early this year. It was nice to see a lot of growth, a lot of positive that's happening around. Wish you and team all the success there. And over to Ashley, who will be talking about everything else, which is hobbies, interest, and more about you, Sanjay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So actually, just to complete the APMP story, sorry, Bhaskar, the APMP award and the meeting with the APMP leadership group in US, gave me a lot of confidence that we're doing well, and we should actually contribute back to the community, share our learnings, so that APMP community in India, or the bid and proposal community in India, should benefit from it. And I was contacted by KK Iyer from APMP India, and this was for a webinar. That's where I told my Genpact bid and proposal transformation story, and it was a webinar which was received very well. And he said, "Hey, we are opening up for governing board nomination shortly. Would you be interested?" I said, "Okay, yeah, let me give it a try." And I went for it. I got selected to the APMP India governing board. This was late 2019, and lo and behold, I was in a company of great professionals and some good friends as well. So people that I had known from the past, Sam Singh, Abhilasha, KK, some of these people, and Shankar from RFPI. These are guys that I already knew. So I was like, oh wow, this is nice, good coming together of friends, and like-minded professionals. So it was interesting. And then soon after joining APMP governing board, we had the CBPM event, the Conference of Bid and Proposal Management. So this was in February. First, it was scheduled in February, and we were all very scared that in a month, how would we organize a conference of this scale? And we were really questioning the need to do it so quickly, like not do a poor job. We wanted to be thorough about it and really plan for it. But then we all backed each other up, moved it by a month, and we did it in it was earlier planned in January. We moved it by a month to end of February. And Bhaskar, that's when I got in touch with you again. Of course, you were part of the transformation journey when you had come over, and in May of 2018, you had actually did that session with Genpact, right? So thank you very much, because that's when my journey actually started. And then in 2019, when I got in touch with you for organizing the award function at the India APMP event, it was a good partnership with you, and it was received very well. So thank you for representing me, because change at the last minute in my side. I had a meeting with our CEO review meeting lined up. I could not come to the Mumbai event, but I'm so glad and grateful that you were there to hold it along with the others in the APMP board.
Thank you, Sanjay. I think more. This is just the beginning of a long journey. Would love to do more. But yeah, thanks for everything from my side as well. So Ashley is all set for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right. So it was so great to hear about your journey, such an amazing career and APMP involvement. We're going to lighten things up a little bit. This is our rapid fire nutters round after, Howard Nut. And so just don't think too much about the questions. Quick, rapid fire, no right or wrong answer. It will be fun.
Perfect. All right, let me go.
All right. So first, we want to talk a little bit about your hobbies and interests. In the beginning, we heard that you like to play badminton and cricket. Can you tell us a little bit how you became interested in these sports and who you play with?
Yeah. So during my school days, I really didn't play much, meaning a little bit of gully cricket, we call it. Gully cricket is basically a small lane, and we used to play gully cricket. But I actually came into playing cricket and badminton both when I moved to Gurgaon. We had a lot more open spaces there, a lot of playgrounds there, a lot of like-minded people. And with my lifestyle, actually, I had gained a lot of weight and there were health issues cropping up. When my uncle encouraged me to move into badminton, and he at his almost 70 years of age is still a national level senior player. So he encouraged me, and that was such a good move, because badminton keeps you really on your toes, literally and figuratively, and it's good for health, and touch wood, I'm still able to play well. So thanks for that.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Sounds like a great way to kind of stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then cricket is on Sundays. So Sunday morning, when I take a break from my badminton, I spend 3-4 hours on the cricket ground, which is more gentlemanly game, leisurely. You relax and you spend time with friends and have good time in general.
Oh, that's so nice. We also learned that you have a little bit of a green thumb and you're doing some community farming for organic vegetables. Can you tell us a little bit about how that project started?
Yeah, there is an interesting story actually behind that. One day, this was about 6 months back, I woke up with a dream and I dreamt that I'm actually farming, right? And I'm like, okay, I mean, this is odd. I've never dreamt about farming the entire life. My grandfather was a farmer. He was a poor farmer in a small village in our native place. But other than that, I had no other farming connection. And when I woke up, I told my wife, "Hey, I just dreamt about farming," and she said, "Like what? Farming of all the things?" And then by about 10, this was a Sunday, and by about 10 a.m., my wife got a call from her friend saying she has heard about this community farming initiative wherein the manager of the farm basically takes up a huge plot and cuts it up into smaller pieces and then lets it out on rent, and you could do your own organic farming. And when she heard that at 10 a.m., she said, what a coincidence. I mean, this friend of mine just called. I said, bang on, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just at least go and see it. So we took them along. We went to the farm. This is about 15 kilometers away from our place. And this is, while we stay in Gurgaon, it's a hustling, bustling city. It's a growing millennium city. But just 15 kilometers away, we reached the foothills of Aravali. It's in a village, and it's so calm and serene and clean air. And it's like, wow, did we just, go through a portal and come on the other side of the world where things are so different? And I said, okay, this is it. We're going for it. So then every Sunday afternoon and sometimes on Saturday afternoon, we come to the farm and do farming. And we grow a lot of veggies. Actually, that plot, which we thought may not be sufficient for our family, actually now I'm able to grow veggies, which I have to, distribute to my friend circle. So it goes to about, 3 or 4 or sometimes 5 households.
Wow.
So much stuff that we are able to produce.
Oh my goodness, what a very cool initiative. And it's amazing that you're able to produce, so much food for, multiple families.
Yeah, thanks.
So we're curious, do you have a nickname that your friends and families have given you?
It's Mintu.
And what is the significance of that? What does it mean?
Well, there are two things. Mint is where you manufacture coins, right? Mint, M-I-N-T.
Yeah.
Mint is also a plant, so it's either of the two. I've never questioned. I've always believed that I'm able to generate money, so that's why I was called Mintu.
I love that. So what is one trait that you like most about yourself?
I'm able to relate to others and I'm able to see things from their perspective. This, I think, is something which holds me in good stead. The ability to see things from their perspective. I'm able to put myself in people's shoes, right? Where it comes in very handy when in bid and proposal function, for example, because then I can see it, what the client's hot buttons and challenges are, what are they looking for, right? Yep. And same for my stakeholders as well. So that, I think, is a good one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you were a cake, which cake would you be and why?
Chocolate fudge.
Yum.
Yeah. It's chocolatey, warm. Yeah,
it sounds amazing. What is your favorite TV show?
Breaking Bad.
That's a great one. If you could be invisible for a day, what would you do?
What would I do? I don't know. Maybe solve some terrorism problems for the world. Go over and fix some of the terrorists there,
Yeah, what a great thing to do. What is your favorite childhood memory?
Riding the scooter with my father, and I used to stand on the footboard, in front of him, and ride the scooter, and I would try to block his view, and the fun that was a great memory.
Oh, that sounds like a really sweet memory. What is one common myth about our profession that you want to debunk?
That it is a lot of coordination. That's a common myth. A lot of people think that it's just coordination, just managing calendars, chasing people, and it is not. There is a massive opportunity to do it in a way that it is a winning capability. It allows the bid manager to be front and center in the proposal and be the anchor, the driver, ensure that the quality, the right quality comes out, which makes it a winning deal. That's a massive myth currently, that bid managers are order takers and coordinators. It is not.
Yeah, I agree. Who haven't you seen or talked to in a while, and you hope that they're doing okay?
My brother. He stays in US, and I haven't spoken to him, I think, in several months. I should do that. Wow. He's very busy, I'm busy, and he's on the other side of the world, so the time zones are also a bit of a challenge. We sometimes chat on WhatsApp, but yeah, speaking on phone is something that I need to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It can be difficult, with the different time zones. And it sounds like you also work in the evenings a lot too, so it can be challenging to find some time.
Yeah.
What's the one food you could never bring yourself to eat?
Non-veg food, actually. I'm a vegetarian. So the only time I had non-vegetarian food was I think in a Southeast Asian country, I think South Korea. I was in Seoul, and they don't have anything vegetarian. So I kept on asking the waiter there, can I get something vegetarian? And he was so confounded. He just could not, other than peanuts, he could not get me anything. And I tried to have chicken. It was so awful. But yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I bet that could be very difficult.
Yeah.
Have you ever sent a text to the wrong person?
Yeah. I was this happens all the time, not all the time, several times when you are on Zoom. And on Zoom calls, there is a facility to send a message to a group, to the whole group, or to a certain individual in that call, right? So once I was bitching about the organizer of the call, and I was bitching to somebody, and I sent that message to the whole group, and I was like, "Oops!"
Ooh.
I had to apologize after the call a whole lot.
Definitely. Oh my goodness. So we learned, so much about your career, and, you talked a lot about, the impact that your dad had on your life. We're curious, who are the people who've been the most influential in your life and your career? Knowing your dad is probably one of them.
Yeah, there was a maths teacher in my school in Kenya, Mr. Jackson. He was a massive influence as well. The selfless devotion that he had towards the studies and with his students, amount of extra time that he spent with us, taught me a lot as well. That you can really derive satisfaction from whatever you do as long as you're passionate and honest about it. So that was one. The other one is my former super boss in Genpact, Ahmed Mazari. He's actually president of Microsoft Asia right now. He joined Microsoft about a year ago. Massive influence. He's just, the way he thinks. I would go to his reviews with everything buttoned up, everything prepared for that review, thinking, all my, checks are in place. And then he would throw a curveball, a question which was like, why didn't I think of that before? And I would look like a fool there. But then he pushed the thinking so much, and I learned a whole lot from him. I mean, he used to think like 5 years ahead. Massive influence. Great guy. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sounds like some amazing people.
Yeah.
So what have you observed lately that reminded you that people are good?
With the pandemic, right? I'm not sure if you are aware, in India, there was a massive labor migration that happened because people were not getting enough jobs to sustain. So all the migrant laborers were moving back to their hometowns, and a lot of people from the public, including some celebrities, came forward and shouldered that responsibility, in addition to the government, of course. But the way people supported each other, that was a good feeling, that people look after each other and back. So that's the goodness and the humanity that still exists.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hadn't heard about that, but it's so nice to hear that, the community and even celebrities were taking care of those individuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who is the kindest person that you know?
It's an uncle of mine. But he's supportive to so many people. He goes out of his way to support causes and people, and basically be and doesn't tell anybody about it, actually. So you really had to dig deeper to find out, okay, what is he supporting right now? I mean, he has donated his kidney. He has sponsored kidney transfer to so many people, despite not having a great income. He was not like very rich or something, but then very big hearted. He supports so many individuals in education sector, in health related issues. So that's a great individual, again, to learn the element of philanthropy from, without being too rich yourself.
Wow, yeah, sounds like such a great person to have in your life.
Yeah.
Looking back, what's one thing you wish you had known when you began your career?
Actually, nothing. I mean, I think it's good not to know too much about stuff. It's best to learn and experience from experiences. I don't really wish to know anything at that point in time, which I know right now, because then otherwise I would have not learned it the hard way. I'm a believer in learning it the hard way, through experiences. So the from the school of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely learn from, the mistakes we make and learning the hard way. And if we know too much, you're right, we might not take those lessons to heart.
Absolutely.
So what's the best piece of advice that you've received, and who gave it to you?
Best piece of advice. Best piece of advice I got from actually my best friend. He said, look beyond. Put yourself out of an issue, of a situation. Mentally step back and look at it from a third perspective. And then you would be able to see how petty things are, and you would be able to see the bigger picture, right? So that's a great piece of advice I got from him. Actually, he opened the door to spirituality for me, because he kept on giving advices like that. And actually he practices as well. So yeah, because at the end of the day, things are, much larger than you think of. Right? It's that entire universe is so big, and there are, bigger schemes at play.
Yeah, it's so true. Such amazing perspective. So what advice would you give to someone wanting to pursue a career similar to yours, or just a successful career in bids and proposals, maybe?
So in general, be so content, know your stuff, right? Never stop learning, keep developing additional skills and knowledge, right? That's important.
Yeah.
Secondly, connections have helped me a lot, and that's how people take decisions. That's how people take buying decisions as well, right? So be very, very networked. So content, connection, and third is communication. Learn how to articulate the way that the audience gets it, not the way you want to tell the story, the way they would listen or they would appreciate or enjoy this story, right? So those 3 C's, I think, are a piece of advice that I want to give anybody.
Yeah, such great advice. So we're curious, Sanjay, what is next for you? You've achieved so much. What are you looking forward to in the future?
Honestly, I think I haven't achieved a whole lot. I mean, there's so much to do now. I'm thinking of going further downstream on the sales cycle. So if you think of a sales cycle, it start with the planning part of the sales, the lead generation, the opportunity surfacing, opportunity qualification, the proposaling and defense, and now moving into the contracting side, legal, contracting, delivery. So those are the elements that I want to consider, so that I get the end-to-end view of the entire business of a company. So
oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely. And so many of us never get that experience. It's great that that's what you want to do. You want to have that full picture. It'll really make you more well-rounded than most of us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, so that's all the questions that we had. Was there any part of your life or career that we didn't touch upon that you wanted to discuss?
No, so maybe APMP India. I can talk a little bit more about APMP India. The association has been great. We have a bunch of initiatives going right now. I'm also leading the Marcomm community, the Marcomm committee at APMP India. We are, trying to increase the APMP India members, generating better brand awareness and outreaches for that, increasing the connectivity in association with colleges and corporates, just generally establishing the APMP India brand in a bigger, better way. Right? So that's one area that is something that probably we didn't touch upon as well. And I don't know, maybe getting into bit more formal sharing of my experiences and knowledge with the wider community, so that people benefit from it going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like, you personally and APMP and India, are doing some great things to improve, the bid and proposal industry more than just within your own organizations, but a wider community. And that's so great.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Sanjay, thank you so much for your time today. It's really been a privilege to have you with us here at Scribble Talk. We wish you all the good health and happiness. Please continue to inspire the bid and proposal professionals around you and everyone else around you as well. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane.
Thank you, Ashley. Thanks for this opportunity. I'm honored to be here. Bhaskar, thank you so much. Really, enjoy conversations with you and our association as well. So thanks once again, and be safe, stay safe, be healthy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Please visit bachuscribble.com/podcast to listen to this episode and check out any of our other previously recorded episodes. If you've enjoyed today's interview, don't forget to subscribe, review, and share the Scribble Talk podcast. We hope you'll check out our next episode where we interview another industry expert and special guest. Until then, it's Ashley Kays,
Bhaskar Sundram,
signing off.